All right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Plenty to discuss and dive into today's video regarding ImperialHal trying to get the controller nerfed and how he plans to actually do that. It's pretty hysterical. Also, some potential roster changes that we could see coming in Split 2 from someone who has plenty of experience in the Apex Pro scene and why he thinks that these roster changes might happen, as well as a pro team that should have been picked up by a pro org but hasn't happened yet, but it looks like it could happen with as good as they have been doing recently. Like I said, plenty to discuss in today's video. Let's go ahead and jump into it. First thing, I just wanted to mention this. I thought this was pretty funny. Last night in the Oversight Tournament, they actually had an end game where someone was up in the air. I'm assuming to like a Horizon Tactical or something. They called in a Gibby ult. You guys can see this dude's flying out of the air. The Gibby ult actually hits him mid-air to take him out. That was insane to see, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. Regardless, thought it was worth mentioning. Now, one of the bigger topics I want to discuss, you guys might know, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, we discovered and talked about Nasky had also talked about basically they're forfeiting their drop spot because TSM is just too good. I think the day before that, they had also said that they had like potentially got a temporary loan out from Panders over from Team Furia. You guys know Furia did not qualify for the London LAN. They got Panders as like a temporary sub because they weren't sure what's going to happen with Max. You guys know he's living over in Ukraine. I don't want to talk about obviously the obvious of what's going on in Ukraine because the channel or the video will get demonetized. Actually just got monetized recently. Thank you guys so much for the support on that. But they said if you talk about the war at all, that they would just demonetize it. So I'm not going to say anything what's going on. You guys know what's going on, and that's why he's had so many issues about will he be able to travel to the LAN? Is he going to be able to play in these online matches? He was actually playing last night, and Jake Lucky made this tweet 22 hours ago saying this is an Apex Pro Max Strafe who literally borrowed his neighbor's backup generator so that he can compete, and his team obviously qualified for the $1 million LAN during all of this. It's crazy to see the dedication that this dude has, and I'm glad to see that they were able to get a backup player just in case. But I want to see this guy play. I want to definitely see him be able to show up there, and I would love to see them do good and have a good performance because basically of the situation that they have been put in. Nonetheless, thought that was worth mentioning. Also wanted to mention this was coming from a conversation between the Cocoa Puffs and I'm Madness, which leads into our ImperialHal discussion. So Nakoko, you guys saw the other day, he basically just came out and said, look, Apex is being ruined for me because of controller players. Like, I love the conversation. I love how mad people get, and they get so defensive whenever the controller situation comes up and the aim assist conversation comes up. And basically, Nakoko said he was done. He's not competing anymore. He's sick of controller players. He's sick of how it's ruining his game. And he says, okay, I get it now. Controller on Apex is just better in every way besides movement. I'm having fun just one clipping absolutely everything. If nothing changes, I wouldn't be surprised if a year time Apex competitive is just 80% controller, if not 100%. And then Madness said, look, it's just a skill issue. Nakoko said, we'll see. And Madness kind of basically like set the tone straight, saying, look, losing team fights has more to do with your team play, synergy, and individual positioning than it does your input. While controller is obviously more consistent up close, a more coordinated and positioned team will always win despite the input you are using. So I thought that conversation was interesting. You guys know that we've covered this topic many a times. ImperialHal, though, is one that has made the switch not long ago from mouse and keyboard to controller, and obviously I would say their team probably got a little better. Now obviously he's also got a little bit of experience with this as well, so it's not really to say like he just picked it up out of nowhere and then all of a sudden they started frying because it's literally aimbot. You know, obviously there is some discussion whether or not the aim assist needs to get nerfed, but it looks like that is ImperialHal's plan, basically saying, you know, controller competitively is just not the way. He wants to see this thing get nerfed, and so here is his plan on how he plans to do so. Roll his clip.
Thanks for helping Horizon get nerfed by showing how brain-dead it is. Appreciate it. I also appreciate you abusing Roller and showing how dumb that is. I'm telling you, I tweeted it out a bit ago that I'm gonna get controller single-handedly nerfed. They already nerfed my Horizon. They never nerfed Horizon. Actually, they did nerf Horizon, but you know what I'm saying? They basically made Horizon useless once I started playing her, so... Now, next order of business, make controller players useless. You guys ready for that? Pheasant 6 to 24 months. What the f***, man? You know what? This is what happens when you nerf Horizon. The game just breaks because the game is just so boring. You nerf Horizon, you break the game because who wants to play anyways? So you just get sent to the f***ing menu.
You would be wise.
Oh, crazy conversation nonetheless that I definitely wanted to mention. It'll be interesting to see in a year's time to see whether or not there is a nerf to aim assist, because like I discovered and told you guys a couple videos ago, they have actually said in the latest like update regarding like the whole input system, you know, the game balancer John Larson said that they hear the conversation loud and clear as to aim assist being tuned and maybe a little bit nerfed. I think what's going to happen though is they're going to release the console 120 FPS, and then they'll just bring the console aim assist down from 0.6 maybe to 0.4, and then maybe PC to down to 0.3. I think maybe everywhere should be 0.3 or so, but regardless, I think once the console gets 120 FPS, that's probably all that's going to change. Regardless, it will be interesting to see if we actually have like an 80% controller scene at some point. I think that would be crazy to see. Now I also wanted to mention this was coming from Oven with the Apex comp scene. This is mainly NA obviously, but this is his ongoing predictions for Split 2 roster changes. So we know that FaZe has had quite the journey right here. Like, they've had Alberlelli, they dropped Alberlelli, then all of a sudden they don't know who they're going to play with, and like they just cannot find out the roster that they're going to be going for. Obviously not qualifying for Split 1 playoffs, they're looking to go Split 2 with a roster change. Word on the street that what seems to be the most logical here is that FaZe will pick up ESA, including Snipe Down. So basically they're going to pick up Phony Head, and they're going to pick up their other teammate as well, Luda, I believe. But obviously they've also been playing with a different third. Will that change at all? Will it just be Phony Head? Will it be somebody else? I don't really know exactly what's going on, but they also think that they will drop Slurp. And I got to be honest, I like Slurp, but I think this will probably be a better play for them as well. They also need like a different team dynamic in general, because what they're having is just simply not working. And then also Glitch Gaming to acquire BR Demons. I'm not sure how this got out. I'm not sure where the rumor came from or where the leak came from, but we also know that BR Demons with Aiden the Destroyer has been trying out for Sentinels, and it looks pretty promising over there. So it probably will be leaving BR Demons to go over there. So if that is the case, then they'll need to find another as well. And you can see right here, obviously Aiden joins Sentinels, most likely going to happen. Aim Assist is going to reform with Design, Chaotic, and Funk, and then also Reptar to join SZN, and then Avexis to join the previous Oxygen roster, and Zero to join on Slept On. And I also noticed one of the comments over here saying Slurp should have been dropped, sadly, and then they also said as far as it seems he is being dropped. So going to be crazy to see all of that stuff come out. Also wanted to mention Madness is still a team that is not signed on an org despite their great placements over in the Oversight Tournaments. I think they've been doing pretty good overall in the ESAs as well. And, you know, they've just been placing very well. And I got to give it to them. They've been kind of hammering it. And I guess also kind of exceeding expectations. And they are still not signed to an organization over on Team MPS. And maybe a team will pick them up during Split 2, especially if they play well during the Pro League. But Solified also got tagged in this saying, hey, you know, maybe you should go play with them. Obviously saying, I heard their pay is really good. If you guys did not remember that story, that was a while back where basically they were caught not paying their players. Nocturnal also saying during all of this like international scrims going on last night, I think he also said NA might be the worst Apex region individually. And I've actually heard this from plenty of people that have their opinions on the whole pro scene. Most people say that like NA has got like probably some of the best players, but then like overall I just don't think it's the most competitive scene. Like I think you got your stacked 5 teams or so that are just so ahead of everybody else, but then whenever it comes to like consistent competition, I think some other regions are probably a little better, a little bit more balanced, and maybe even a little bit more healthier of a scene, because I think NA can kind of go with some cheese metas and definitely be a little weird. Also lastly, just wanted to mention this as we close out the video, as we look to go to the London LAN in a very short amount of time, and less about I think like 2 or 3 weeks from now. We had an ImperialHal give a little quote here from TSM about how he feels when the fans like to roar, saying, I feel extremely grateful to have our fans supporting us throughout the highs and lows, and we wouldn't be here without them. When it comes to the crowd roaring, it gives me a feeling of responsibility to do well all the time and fulfill their expectations. You love to see the fan favorites TSM, and definitely love their fan base as well. I can't wait to see if they actually perform well for them over here in the London LAN. They're definitely set to do so, being the #1 team coming out of NA. We'll see if those expectations are met at this London LAN. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as always, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I'll see you later, Gators. Thank you all for all the support as well. We just got monetized yesterday. It's a huge goal that we just met.